Hey guys, how you doing? Derby here. So in case you don't know already, today was in fact the day where Yoshida did his live letter from the producer 9. Today he talked about mainly housing. He talked about a lot of features in the housing, how to get your house, what different places where you can buy your housing. He went into depth with the Gardania and Aldar housing estates. He also semi-confirmed the prices of a small house. He didn't say it himself, but on the stream he bought an actual house, and we actually got to see what the actual price of the house was. So I'm going to go straight in, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is class rebalancing. Now, Yoshida has previously said that the warrior is extremely powerful, and it is favoured by all the devs. However, he has confirmed that there is an issue with the warrior. Now, this isn't because the warrior is bad or any way, it's because of how we, the players, are choosing to play the classes. Now, the first boss in turn 1 of the Coil is fine-tuned, and I quote, "Once the boss has 3 buffs stacked up, the tank won't be able to pass. It is set up that way." In other words, what he is saying is, the first boss in turn 1 is actually predeterminedly set up that the warrior and the paladin can't pass with 3 stacks up. However, because of the way we play the classes and how we have decided to beat and get around the mechanics, we have picked a route that makes it really unviable for a warrior. He also has said that the warrior is actually a very hard class to play, and the rotation and the abilities of the warrior are much harder to execute than the paladin. So he then said that changing the system isn't good, so you have to make it where the war can do what the paladin can do. So in other words, in patch 2.1 we're going to be receiving warrior buffs. He also said that there's going to be 7 changes to the warrior, or approximately 7 topics to change about the warrior. So in other words, patch 2.1, I believe the warrior is going to have a massive overhaul with all of his abilities. Next up, the Dragoon. And of course, if you are a Dragoon player like myself, you would know how shit we are at endgame. Many people turn around and say, "Oh, why don't you just learn how to play your job, or why don't you learn how to use your jumps, But until you actually play a Dragoon, then you will see all the issues that come with the Dragoon, especially with our jumps. Now, I covered this in a video previously, about how a jump works, and that we're not calculated to be in our new area until we fully land, which is why we sometimes get hit by landslides, which is why we sometimes get hit by all these other stupid AoE abilities. And he has said that the players want the Dragoon to be invulnerable whilst we're in midair. Now, Yoshida has dismissed this and said we're not going to do that. And he said, but if we do that, people are going to ask all Dragoons to jump to avoid certain hits on content. So in other words, if they do take the route of the Dragoon to be invulnerable whilst mid-air in a jump, it will just make the Dragoon the most optimal class for any content in the game, pretty much. You can just avoid all the mechanics of a Dragoon, and I don't want that. However, there is going to be changes to the Dragoon made in 2.1, and I'm very excited. Also, he has said that the Bard is extremely powerful. In fact, he is too powerful, and they will be getting toned down a little bit in 2.1. Yoshida has also mentioned about the clipping issue when you're fighting fates such as Behemoth and Odin, and he said that in patch 2.1 hopefully there will be a slight fix for this issue, and he said that they're going to be placing a special system where it will display these special unique mobs like Behemoth and Odin. And he also said that they're going to be placing zone restrictions in 2.1 in these specific areas to make sure that the servers don't accidentally crash because of the amount of players that are in one zone. They also had a 10-minute break where they started showing all these different pictures and images, and I was lucky enough to be there when they showed this amazing Behemoth mount, which is going to be a veteran reward. I hope that it will be the 180-day veteran reward, because we really need something really awesome like that. And we're also going to be having class minions, so we're going to have the white mage minion, the black mage minion, and which appears to be the warrior minion, and I really can't wait to have them. They look really cute, I'm not going to lie. Patch 2.1 will also be the introduction of the message board system. Basically, you go to this message board and you type in the location where you want to go. You can add a comment, and then you can see other people who want to go to the same location as you. You can see other parties, you can see what jobs they're currently playing or classes they're currently playing, and you can join in and have fun with them. You can use this to find people for story mode primals, maybe some guild events, fate grinding maybe. You can even use this message board to find a group to practice your hard mode Titan if you're having difficulty with it, instead of going into duty finder group and upsetting other people because you're a noob and you just wanted to practice the fight. So this is one system that they're going to be introducing that should allow this, that should ease out this miscommunication that's currently going on with the duty finder system. So the first place they show about housing is the Limsa housing area. And if you haven't seen it already or you don't know what it is, it's basically like a beach house. You can buy a really cool beach house right next to the beach, right next to the sand. It's really, really cool. So in order to buy a house, you have to get yourself a deed. And basically you have to go and auction with other people on your server to buy a plot of land. Now I'm kind of worried about this because it means right at the beginning of the game the prices for the land is going to be so inflated, and I really cannot imagine how much it's going to cost to buy a plot of land eventually. So you buy yourself a plot of land, and once you've got your land you can now start building your house. And of course each plot of land can hold either a large, small or medium-sized house. Now each instance is going to hold a total of 30 houses, and each time an instance is full, it's then going to go and make another instance to hold another set of 30 houses. So as you can see here, he goes through and he buys himself a plot of land, and it appears it costs around 850k to buy yourself a house or a plot of land. So he buys himself a small house, and as you can see he's going for all the options to buy himself a small house, and he can now change what kind of house he wants. And he picks this really cool like stone, I guess you could say like a half stone, half wooden, really modern looking house. It looks really nice, and of course it is a small house. Now as you can see he's now going through the parts, and you can change the roof, you can change the windows, and you can actually start changing the fencing around the house. Now he goes into his options again, and you can start putting a Mogmail letterbox right outside the house. He then adds tables and adds a chair, and then he can use the rotate function to go and move the chair around. And then he can add himself a cannon if he wanted to, and Yoshida has joked that you cannot actually fire the cannon towards your neighbours, otherwise it will start causing a lot of mess. But it is kind of cool that you can have yourself a Coilfus cannon in your front yard, and it does look really cool. So as you can see, this is the inside of a Limsa house. The bed that you can actually see in this image right now is also a Limsa Grand Company bed. It looks really cool. It looks like really piratey, really naval kind of. If you go into like an old ship, for example, you just have the old metallic frame bed with like really bad springs just supporting the bed. It looks really cool. I really like it. Yoshida has also confirmed that gatherers will need to gather around items, and crafters will then build the items. He made sure that there is a very good balance between gathering and crafting, so everybody has to contribute towards creating items. There isn't really much that you can buy with your guild, and the majority of the stuff will have to be crafted, so I think this is a very, very good thing. He also said that hopefully by patch 2.2 they'll have something called the Dupe Box, and if you see my previous video I've already talked about the Dupe Box. He also answered the question where what happens if a free company decides to disband. And basically a free company cannot disband unless the housing is completely destroyed and all of the items within the house are completely gone. So if you are in the FC and you have a house, that FC cannot disband until the house is gone, so you have to get rid of the house, which is unfortunately a big waste of gil, and you will have to go and then sell your plot. They also confirmed that they will have an aetheryte for your house, so you can just click on your teleport button and just automatically warp there. Now I have a feeling that this may cost a bit of gil, but I really do hope that this is free, as it is your own aetheryte. Now this is going to be the older housing area, And as you can see, it looks really cool. I really like it. There's a really cool water fountain feature in here as well. It's really nice looking. Yoshida confirmed that in patch 2.2 we'll be able to do farming. So people in your FC can work together to grow a special item to make a really unique feature in your house. And I think that's really cool. And unfortunately, you cannot convert directly from a small to medium or a medium to a large house. If you want to upgrade your house size, you have to take out all the furniture, destroy the house, and then rebuild the house up. You cannot upgrade straight away with all the furniture inside from a small to a large house. You have to destroy it first, which I don't really like personally, but there's not much we can really do. Now we're going to go and take a look inside a large house. This is a large free company house, and as you can see, it is decorated very elaborately. Yoshida has said that they spent all day working on this house to make it look really good and really polished for this particular video. And he said that there are certain areas where you can go and create like role-playing elements. Like you can create a mini bar on the side, and you can create maybe like a fireplace area on the other side, to really get involved with the whole role-playing aspect of the game. As you can see, this is a beautiful chair, and this chair is going to be made up of Garuda feathers, and you can get Garuda feathers by farming Garuda hard mode. And this chair looks absolutely fantastic. I definitely want to have one in my own house. And in this image you can also see there's a little tiny Magitech statue. It looks really cool. There are also many cool gargoyle statues that you can have in your house and other different ornaments, and I really cannot wait to see the types of statues that we can actually have in our house. You can also have yourself a marble rug and a marble bookshelf. And the marble bookshelf looks really cool. I mean, look at the teeth. That's really bloody awesome. If you can see on the ground as well, the little Chocobo dolls and the Mog dolls that I previously talked about in my TGS video, there's the concept art for that as well, and there's also a little Tombury doll on the ground. I believe the weavers are the ones that can make these really cool ornament dolls. They look really cute, and I really want to have one as well. We can also have Ifrit's head placed on our wall. Now in order to have Ifrit's head, we have to go and farm Ifrit hard mode. And there's also a demon wall feature that we could have on the wall, and the demon wall feature looks really awesome. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get that. I presume you're going to have to farm AK countless amount of times and get a special drop from him, but I personally haven't seen this, so I do not think that this item is currently in the game yet. The Ifrit feature, however, looks really awesome. I mean, he has a really nice big wide mouth, and the fire that comes off the middle of his head looks really awesome. I really want to have one of these as well. Now unfortunately guys, in patch 2.2 we cannot have our own personal room in our free company house. However, this is something that Yoshida plans to implement by 2.2. So hopefully I can have my crazy awesome bikini room in my FC house. There's also going to be a system in place, just like the company chest, where only certain people with certain ranks can actually configure who can place what items where and who can take items in and out of the house. They do not have any mini games currently planned for 2.1. However, Yoshida has confirmed that a staff member has an idea for a very good card game. The development team is currently testing out some puzzles and other mini games that they can put into the free company house, but he hasn't given a date as to when these may be ready. He didn't even say 2.2, so these may not even be ready until 2.3 or afterwards. Yoshida has said that there will be a work desk or a workbench in the FC house where you can go and craft materials and craft items. You can hire NPCs to buy materials, and those are going to be planned as well. And he said that in the workshop you'll be able to make an airship and do other content with your FC buddies. Now they said that Chocobo carriage is coming in 2.2. I believe this means Chocobo breeding, which is something that a lot of people really do want. Unfortunately this is going to come in patch 2.3. I really wanted it to come in this patch or maybe patch 2.2, but looks like we're going to have to be waiting until the middle of next year in order to breed and have our chocobos have sex with each other. They're also planning it so we can go and fish in other neighborhoods and in other people's fishing estates. And he also showed us some things of the Gardania housing area. And I really like this really cool lake with all the boats and the landing dock in the Gardanian housing estate. And then Yoshida decided to start showing us some really cool features and furniture that we will be able to put into our house. Now, these two items that I'm about to show you are items that are going to be obtained from the Binding Core of Bahamut expansion. Now, the expansion for Binding Core of Bahamut is coming in patch 2.2. And there are some other cool little treats that will be coming with the Bahamut expansion, and I will be covering those later because they were accidentally leaked, quote unquote. Now this image over here has like an Odin ornament, I guess, with his mantle, cape, sword and his helmet. It looks really cool. There's also another feature that you can get from the Crystal Tower, like a crystallized statue with two blades going through it. That looks really, really cool. We can also have a Leviathan water fountain feature that we can have outside of our house. This thing looks really, really awesome. Unfortunately, there was another image that was to go with this, and my image capture program didn't take the screenshot of the other image, but the whole thing looks really, really awesome. I really want to have this as well. One of the best features that we can have for our house. And now we have the surprise that I was talking about earlier, and this is the official new AF2 gear. Yes, AF2. The gear that we have right now that we can buy off the mythology is not AF2 according to the devs, and these new images, leaked images as they call it, are in fact the AF2 gear. Now we have images for every single job, including 2 extra elegant pieces right at the end, including some weapons, and honestly these new upgrades are absolutely amazing. We can tell that the Dragoon one is definitely inspired by Canine Wind. You can just look at the dragon things on its head. You can see the dragon tail as well. It's coming off the back. Honestly, it looks really awesome. I really like the new Dragoon spear as well that we can see on the side. Maybe it's a spear, I don't know, but it definitely looks really awesome. Next up we have the Bard gear. The Bard gear to me looks too much like the goldsmithing gear, if I'm honest with you. I don't really like it that much. It's still going with the multicolored design by the looks of it, and I believe the image of the pants directly in the middle, in between the actual full render and the concept art images, looks like female pants, and that looks really awesome. I could really kind of like the Amazon kind of look on female bards and female archers anyway, so that really looks really awesome to me. It's also really nice to see that they've completely changed the color scheme of it, from going from a really weird white to a pink to a red, so you know that's a really big change. Next up we have the Warrior AF2 gear. I'm kind of displeased with this, if I'm honest with you. It looks really unfinished. I don't like it that much. You know, you just look like a massive bear. I guess that is the concept. You know, you're berserker, you're a warrior, you're meant to be, you know, wild and fierce, you know. So I guess that's where they got the bear look from, but I don't really like it that much. Next up we have the AF2 monk gear. This looks kind of cool. I kind of dig this. I kind of like it. I don't really like the fact that we have a belly top for males though. It looks really weird. We have the summoner gear, and they're still rocking the massive dodo horn on top of the summoner's head. They've gone for a new white look, pure white look. They look really angelic. It's really nice. I guess it's kind of cool. And now we have the, I believe the one on the left is the scholar gear, because the one on the right has a white and a red color scheme, and that is usually indicates the white mage. The white mage honestly looks like Santa Claus, you know, it looks like a Christmas seasonal outfit. I don't like it. The scholar gear on the other hand looks pretty cool. I really like the fact they have this like semi bulkiness to them. You know, it makes them look really cool, if I'm honest with you. And next up we have the Allegan mail. Now this is obviously going to be gear that's going to be after what we currently have, so Allegan 2 I guess you might call it. And this gear kind of looks like a DPS gear, because you can tell it doesn't have that much, bulkiness to it. It has like a weird head brace, and plus it has mail. And of course, mail usually indicates chain armor, and the only chain armor wearing class in the game currently is the Dragoon. Now, I think they're going to change this, and I believe that once the Musketeer comes out, they may have like a Gunblader type class, and the Gunblader type class might also be wearing the Allagan mail set. And of course, they have the Allagan 2 tank gear, and yeah, this is like amazing. This looks absolutely amazing. I really can't say anything more than that. I really like the cloak. That cloak looks absolutely badass. Just looking at this, I really want to go and roll myself a Paladin or a Marauder. You look kind of like Wesker or Dante. It has a really cool, look to it. I really like it. The Allagan axe, on the other hand, the Warrior's axe looks insane. Look at that thing. It looks crazy. It looks really, really badass, and you can tell that this is in fact new gear, because this looks nothing like the current Allagan gear, including the weapons. The weapons look nothing like this, so I'm glad to know that they're also including new Allagan weapons. And that pretty much covers everything, really. Yoshida has said that they're planning for mid-November to release the next live letter, and in this live letter they're going to be covering the Crystal Tower, treasure hunting maps. They're going to go over some of the new dungeons, the hard mode dungeons, Mog Battle, and the extreme primal battles. Yeah, I just can't wait now to see the new Crystal Tower stuff. I guess we all have to wait until mid-November now to get to the next live letter, and see what they have in store for us. So that pretty much covers this video, guys. I just want to give a very big shout out to Reinhardt. Thank you for your time, dude. You're doing a fantastic job doing all these live translations. You're really helping the community, and I really thank you for that. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Discuss AF2, discuss housing, what do you think about the Dragoon gear, what do you think about the new Allagan gear, tell me. And now, obviously, I'll be joining the discussion as well. I'll always be, replying to what people are saying. So, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.